Alright, last of our $5 trimmers. This is a Poulan Pro PP25E 25cc 2008. And this one, I think is going to have some problems because when I was just putting it up here on the bench to put it in a vise to hold it in place, I had it tilted and liquid came out of the tank and it does not smell like anything. So I'm thinking, you can kind of see the glare on the cap, but that's definitely not fuel. This tank's going to have to be flushed. Because I'm thinking, yeah, this whatever it is all through it. My guess is probably water. So I'm starting to think between the last couple ones we messed with that these actually got left outside. Which means this cap probably it either wasn't tight or it came off pretty easy, but maybe the gasket leaks. But you can see here all the dirt and stuff and funk. Yeah, just sat there. You can see how it's all dirty and everything around the tank. So these definitely, I'm starting to think these were left outside by a garage or in a shed or whatever have you. But so yeah, might be fun. What we're going to do is fight with it to get it in this vise apparently. But there we go. First thing first is to see if it even has fire. But man, that sucks. We have to get that tank. These tanks come off easy though. It's probably just a couple. Yeah, looks like it's just 2 screws, maybe one underneath. Yeah, it's definitely wet. So it's, you got your 2 fuel lines, a couple star bits. Yeah, so it comes off easy, so that's not a big deal. Just have to get it flushed out, and it's got a fuel filter. Well, there's the piece for the cap. See if we can pluck that out of there. Just go back on easy. If you guys ever lose one, have one come unhooked, it's just a piece that holds the cap to the tank to keep you from losing it. It's got the little snap ring deal on it there. You can just, be kind of hard to do by hand, but it just sets in of your little pressure release there. Just goes in, push it in, and probably pop it right in by hand. Just get you, we got here, flathead screwdriver. Yeah, she's popping right in. Now I have had them. Yep, this one's going to have to do it too. The prongs, how they're sticking out, you might have to get a pair of pliers. And yeah, here's a pair. Possibly straighten the prongs out a little bit if you can get them to bend without snapping off. Just straighten them. I just want to get it to where it'll grab the plastic a little better. It should, if all goes well, go right back in place. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. So now we're good. So then that you can just squeeze it together, pop it back in your tank, and it holds your cap in place. I'm gonna leave that off for now. Fuel line wise, let's see what we got there. Looks like they're hooked up. Kind of hard, but flexible at the same time. Move a little bit on the tank, but not real bad. But it's filthy. We got a fuel filter. Yes, we do. Fuel filter looks like it's seen better days. And I believe they have it hooked on the wrong line. So, this style carb, they definitely do. If they have it hooked, if I can get this where you can see it better. So someone's had their fingers in it. And you can see your lines. There's your primer. You got your top line, which should be the return line. Then we got our other one here, which should be the main fuel line. They run, you know, you can see where they run down, And we got our return is where your cap goes is in the front, main fuel's in the back, and it'll run down, should run down probably usually like in the center of your tank here and just lay flat. Now if I can get you in here, I'll show you what they got going on. You see the filter? That is hooked up to our return line. So that means our main fuel line is just sucking, just pulling gas. So it's not being filtered. So all it's doing is when you prime it, you can, well, I don't know if the camera's picking up, you can hear the primer is working, you can hear it blowing, but the problem you got is just returning the fuel down through the filter, and we have no legit filter on the main fuel line, so that's going to have to be addressed. I do have a filter, so we can eliminate that one. It looks like they got the main fuel line is roughly in the center of the tank, so what we want to do is probably what's going to happen is, yeah, tell you what we're going to do is see if this thing will fire right off the bat. Let's see what we got here. No air filter, of course. So what we'll do is, I think I got a little bit of 2-cycle down here somewhere, and we'll see if it fires. If it fires and attempts to run, then throttle work. Yep, throttle's working. So if it attempts to run, and then it'll be worth my time to do that. So now, let me see here. Any fuel in this? Alright. So here we go. Where we get some 2-cycle, we're going to prime this carb and see if it fires off. Alright. Let's see. This should be enough to get it. Enough to see what it'll do, right? That's all we need. Oh, wow. Oh, this one don't have it. Must be internal. Say it doesn't have a, well, you guys can't see it, the flat. I don't have one set here. I thought I had one. Oh, here we go. Old one. Usually when you do your choke, has the choke lever. Actually a carb a lot like this one. It has the choke lever, and it's missing the flap. So that's actually a lot like that. I might be able to use that for parts if it needs one. Alright, let's see what it'll do. We're on. Yep, we're on. You ain't got to worry about choking it, it don't have one. That won't even stay down. Oh, there we go. Let's try that. Oh, wait. Can't really get a good enough pull on it here. Alright, well, it runs. Something in there is making some noise, but it runs. You can hear it howling. But, so, do the right thing and put some lines on it. Turn everything else up. Alright. And we'll try it. And hopefully we don't break the lines in the process. So, here's an earwig. Looks like it's a, where's it go? Yeah, T20. T25. Alright. Alright, I get the tanks. The tank screws out. Let's see if we can get the lines. There's one. They both actually came off, but it ain't going to matter because I'm going to end up having to replace them anyway because of the way they've done that. So, the drill's upstairs, so I can use this one. Should just be 2 screws, if I can remember. Give you guys a better view of the inside of this tank. So here we go. So this is our return line. This is our main fuel line. Well, okay, yeah, it is pretty loose. But if you look inside, you see your fuel filter there. That's hooked up to our return. Yeah, it's not spinning. Oh, yeah, it is spinning. If you guys can see the fuel filter moving around in there. That's our return line. They have the fuel filters hooked up to the return instead of the main fuel line. So it's going to have to come out. And we'll do it the easy way. We'll just nip them. That one just came straight out. Easy enough. Just cut them off. Boom. There we go. Man, that thing is discolored and everything. I'm thinking that's water. Because it has no petrol smell at all. You can see all the buildup right here along the filter. And my guess is it has water in it. So these things must have set outside. Because if you watch the other video we had of one of these, I can't remember which one it was now, but one of them, if you go back through the videos, one of them is it's just water soaked. It was home light maybe, but it was, I mean, water all through the cylinder and everything. We had to do a complete flush on it. So what I'm going to do is get the tank and get it cleaned up, especially around the holes. You always want to clean it up around the holes so you don't get none of that dirt and debris. So I'll clean it up, and then you can see all the funk down there inside the tank. So the tank's going to have to be cleaned out. So I'll get that taken care of, and then we'll check a couple other things real quick. Alright, so here's the plan. Plan. Right? We were, since I already have the tank off, I'm going to go ahead and get this line started with the tank off. You don't have to have it off, but it's already off, so that's how I'm going to do it. And we'll drop the grease. That, put that on our lines, and just one. Yep, here is our main fuel line. Like usual, we just cut them at an angle. A little bit of 2-cycle oil, or in this case I'm using grease. These tanks aren't like super thick, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Alright, this will be our main fuel line. You can see this tank, this setup takes 2 different ones, and it's kind of hard to pick up at that glare, but the outer one, which is what they was using for the main fuel line on this application, and then the bigger one, for whatever reason, is the return line. You could switch them if you wanted to. No big deal. I mean, it sets like that, and you got, yeah, if you wanted to switch them around, you could, but we'll go with it, since that's how they kind of had it. So you just get it, a little bit of lube on it. This one, we get started, it might be a little bit more of a bear. I don't have my other forceps because it goes farther into the tank. Usually they're closer over, and you just reach in and grab them and just draw them in. But for the most part, it's going. So I might be able to reach that now, and also with this one. Let's see if I can reach in there and grab that. So close, but yet so far. There it goes. So we'll get it pulled down in there. And this one I'll have to run a barb on. So I do not have a fuel line that is, or not fuel line, a fuel filter with a nipple small enough. So we have to use an adapter. Cut that off flush. Put the little adapter on there. There's some pretty dinky line. So make sure it goes all the way up. And there we go. Alright, come on. So I got a new filter with a piece of line, so hopefully. it's long enough, so we'll drop that in. Hopefully it's too long is what I'm hoping. Yeah, so that's got me clear down here at the other end of the tank. So what I'm hoping is we can drag it up and the adapter will come up to the hole and it'll still be in the center. Perfect. Yeah, so now we're like right here on the tank. So that should work alright. So that takes care of our main line. Turn line. Same way, it's cut at an angle. A little dab of grease on there. This one might be a little tougher. It's a little bit better line, so yeah. So it'll be a little. Excuse me. This will be a little tougher. I need to make it a little longer, but you guys get the gist of it. There we go. So we'll run it in. This one doesn't have to be super long, just inside the tank. So what we're gonna do now is get these in, throw the 2 screws back in, hook our lines up, throw some gas in it, and see what happens. Alright, I went ahead and figured we might as well take a look at the carb situation here before we take it out there and try to start it. And so I want to take a look at this. Pops right off the cable, no problem. So what I'm wanting to take a look at is the screen underneath your primer right here. It sounds like everything's working. What I'm wanting to do is actually check the top of it. You got your screen where your fuel drops down through to the needle and everything. So what we'll do is take a look and make sure that the screen that's under there is not plugged up. Just a couple screws, no big deal, and be the perfect time. If I have one, I might go ahead and change. If I have one that fits, I think I'll go ahead and change it since it's apart. The primer ball, purge ball, some people call it. We can go ahead and swap that out. I think I have one. I'm pretty sure I have one that fits this. So there's our bottom half. Come on, big fella. Yeah, it should come apart. Oh, boys, there we go. See, it's definitely been on there a while. You know, 2008 it said. So I'm pretty sure I have one that'll fit that. So I'll set that aside for now. So it seems good. Oh yeah, look at that. So here's our top half. Well, our middle piece. So you get your top where the purge sets on top of it. Here's our screen. So this might have been why this thing got benched. You see here. So if you look here, let me see if I got my phone on me. I can show you a little bit better. This thing's full of sediment, which is probably from them guys having them lines hooked up wrong, running no fuel filter on it, and all that crap that you can see inside the tank. So you can see all that sediment in there. Get the light off and I'll show you. This thing is packed. You can see it there. All that, you know. You can see it on my finger. All that's down into that screen, and we get it all, and that's pretty much it. Another way you can test is if you have some fuel, take the bottom off, get the diaphragm out of the way right here, those 4 screws. You can put a couple of drops of fuel in there, open your needle, and see if it stays there, and then open your needle up and it'll drip out. That's another way you can also check to make sure everything's in place down there, but we're going to throw it together and go with it. So yeah, and this one I think it has a I had one like this before. Doesn't even have the screw hole for the exterior, so it all operates on the internal one. So don't get nobody confused on that. So now we'll get it put back together. We'll throw some fuel in it. It's a good thing we checked, and take it out and fire it up. Alright, here we go. Now Rocket. Neighbor dog's barking. What you doing? Rocket. Hey. What you doing? We'll start raising cane, but straight shaft. Ain't a bad trimmer. It cleaned up fairly decent, but paint's a little faded. But so we got placed both fuel lines, new fuel filter, cleaned the tank. I went ahead and changed the purge ball on it, and I brought up this one's a 21 spline for the adjustment tool. I will probably have to get these dogs to quit. Give me just a second. Yeah, they're not quit. Let's see if it'll prime up. So. Yep, there we go. So primer's working. So far so good. Alright, just a few primes. We're going to start. We're on. Run. She's not happy, but she runs. My guess is they played around, since there was sediment in the top of that carburetor. They played around with the adjustments on it. Without a doubt, it's probably, I'll try running them in just a hair, see how this one feels like. Let's see. Crank it all the way in. I think that was about all the way out. We'll give the high just a couple turns. And the low's about the same way. So let's give it a couple of turns and see if we get lucky. Yeah, you can hear there's something in there growling. You're not happy, are you, buddy? Let's try that. Hey! Rocket! He's barking at the trimmer. Hey! Come on, man. Calm down. We're almost done. We're at the end situation trying to chew the end off. Alright, let's try this again. It's probably going to be really stubborn. there we go. It's a runner. Just needs adjustment, which I figured it would because of the sediment you've seen, but you can see it's burning all the garbage off. You see all the smoke, but this one has, if I can get to where I can show you here, this one doesn't have a regular spool head on it. This one has, you can see where it had a guard on it at one time, and they took the guard off, put this style on. It's surprising it's that easy to get it going. I think it still needs ran of letting it, let it run, and I'm sure it needs adjusted some more after it heats up. But anyway, this one, if you get one, yeah, you can feel it. And I have to check the grease in there too. She's already hot. So this one, it's about wore out. Obviously, you can see where all the plastic is pretty much shot, but they'll still do the job. But these, you just pull them. You can see how it's separated right there, and it's got the takes one just long string, whatever style yours takes. This looks like it's probably 65, so an earwig 65 maybe, but it just goes through the holes. And the plastic design, you can see where this is thicker holes for like 85, 95, and it has grooves in there, so when you shove it through, it feeds that plastic and pops out these holes. So it's real, if I can get it to pop apart, that should be enough to get it to come loose. And of course I don't. Let's see if this wrench will get it. There we go. So that's all it is just a strand. You can see your grooves there that they go through. So it's simple. These will take anything. I think my old one took anywhere from 0.065 to 0.095 on the line. So that's all they do is, like, see, these ones are like 0.95. So if you're wanting to run 0.95 line, it just goes right in. Get your line started in. It'll come out up here. Clip it into place. You're ready to rock and roll. Pretty basic setup. And it should have, this one's head should have, yeah, here's your grease fitting. I'd grease it now, but I'm out of grease. But anyway, this just unscrews. If you get the kind that comes in a tube, you take this out in a tube. Once you open it, you can screw it right down in there and just give it some good squeeze. Or if so you can buy grease fittings to do the same thing. They'll go in your grease. You can screw them down in there, and they has the Zerk fitting, where you can use a grease gun, fill it up. This one's definitely my guess is it's either old grease or it's wore out. Cause this thing has got like super hot, super fast. So it's either old or low, one or the other. And sounded like the clutch mechanism was making a little noise, but it's running. It's old. So I'm saying it's an 08, but it'll serve the purpose for us. I'm surprised it ran that good, but as I was saying, we had 4 of them. They were $5 a piece from the guy. I could have swore he said they was kept inside, but obviously not, because the one was full of water. This one had water in the tank. So 2 lines, a filter, purge ball. Oh, I did find an air filter down there for it, so now it's got an brand new air filter in it as well. They're pretty basic size. It's just those green ones. You can get them about anywhere. This fits right in. Clamp and shit. I think it could probably use, I think it'll need ran for a while. Probably carb will probably need readjusted, but as I say, it's a Poulan Pro PP25E. 16-inch cut 25cc. They call them pulling because you're constantly pulling on them. That's how it seems, but it's kind of easy to adjust. It was the 21 spline, I think is what this one took. Yeah, I said it over there. 21 spline adjustment tool is what it took, so pretty basic setup. But there you go. $5 and a little bit of elbow grease, and she's up and running. And these aren't that much. You go to about any hardware store, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, about anywhere. Actually, I think you can even go to Harbor Freight and get those, but they're not that much. But if that's the style trimmer you got. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but there you go. Winter chicken dinner. And thanks for watching, guys. We got I picked up another Remington, like the last video we done of that Remington. another one that's identical to it, but it's in cleaner shape. It's weird because it's in 2018. The one we done was in 2019, but they have the same issue with the pull string to where it's laying out. But we'll have that video coming up probably the next couple days, and a really cool bicycle we picked up. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Winter.